fourth grade. This is the iReady math packet, page 14, solving multi-step word problems. So the directions say write and solve an equation for each problem. Show your work. Always want to show your work. Equation just means a number sentence with an equal sign. So it's not an expression. An expression does not have an equal sign. An equation does. So Tasha spent 25 minutes reading on Wednesday night. That's what I'm going to write first. 25 minutes. And then we want a total, right? A total of Thursday and Wednesday. So she spends 17 more minutes reading on Thursday than she did on Wednesday. So we're going to add 25 plus 17 because it says she spent 17 more minutes reading on Thursday than she did on Wednesday. So she read the same number on Wednesday plus 17 more minutes. And then we're going to have an equal sign. And if you wanted to, you could put a variable here, but until we know the answer. So we learned PEMDAS for the order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So we put the parentheses here because we know we're going to have to add 25 and 17 first to find out how many minutes she spent reading on Thursday and then add that to our Wednesday. So then we're just going to add 25 plus 17. 5 plus 7 is 12, carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So she spent 42 minutes on Thursday. Then we're going to add our Wednesday minutes to our Tuesday. 5 plus 2 is 7. 2 plus 4 is 6. So Tasha spent 67 minutes reading between Wednesday and Thursday nights. This was our equation, our number sentence with an equal sign. Here's our work, and here's our answer. We followed all the directions. Number 2, I'm going to go a little slower with the intention that you could, when I pause speaking, that you could pause the video and do a little bit of the work on your own. And then when you've caught up with me, you can press play. Oh, my cat has decided to join us. Little Rogelio. I'll show him to you. Ooh, he looks really big. Ro. He's really not that large. It's just zoomed in. But, so, Eric has 2 bags of bird seed. 1 bag has 10 pounds of seed. Oh, goodness. Kitty cat wants to say hello. All right, come on. Come on. He's very friendly. He doesn't want to be away from what I'm doing. Okay, Eric has 2 bags of bird seed. 1 bag has 10 pounds of seed, and the other bag has 8 pounds of seed. He fills 7 bird feeders with 2 pounds each. Write and solve an equation to find how many pounds of bird seed are left. So what I would do first is underline what you're doing. So these, write and solve an equation, right, to find how many pounds of bird seed are left. Take a second and think about what that word left tells you about the operation that we're going to use. Are we going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Okay. To me, this left says that we're going to subtract. We're going to start with a total, and we're going to take away until we figure out what is left. So, how much are we starting with? It says Eric has 2 bags of bird seed, 1 with 10 pounds and 1 with 8 pounds. So I'm going to add those together. 10 plus 18 is 28. So that's what I'm starting with. Eric started with 28 pounds of bird seed. Let's see how much he used. He fills 7 bird feeders with 2 pounds each. So we could do 10 plus 18 as the beginning of our equation. That's how much we started with. And then we're going to subtract an amount that he used up. So think in your head, how can we calculate how much he used? How much he used to fill those bird feeders? Hint, it's going to be a multiplication sentence. We're going to multiply 7 times 2. he filled 7 bird feeders with 2 pounds each. And then you could use the variable b to represent bird seed. So I already know, if I can simplify this, 10 plus 18 is 28. And 7 times 2 is 14. I bring down my little subtraction sign. Then I have 28 minus 14 equals b. 28 minus 14 is 14. So there are 14 pounds of bird seed left. Now I would love for you, since I've modeled 2 problems, to pause the video here and do number 3, and then I will go over how to solve it. Okay, ready for the answer? There are 15 boys and 19 girls in math club. The tables in Mrs. Miller's classroom seat 4 students each. Write and solve an equation to find how many tables Mrs. Miller will need. First, we need a total of how many students are in Mrs. Miller's class. So because we're going to need to add first, I'm putting parentheses, 15 boys plus 19 girls. That's going to give us the total. And then it says the tables in Mrs. Miller's classroom seat 4 students each. Each table is going to hold 4 students. So we're going to divide into groups. And we need to divide into groups of 4. So we take our total and divide them by 4 to find out how many tables, T, are needed. So I'm going to add 15 plus 19. 5 plus 9 is 14. There are 34 students in Mrs. Miller's class, so we're going to divide 34 by 4. Now, don't forget that long division we learned earlier this year. 34 divided by 4. We're going to divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. 4 goes into 34 how many times without going over? 4 will go into 34 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. 34 minus 32 is 2. So we have 8 remainder 2. And then we go back to that lesson about interpreting remainders. When we have a remainder, we either are going to round down because we need 1 less, or we're going to round up because we need 1 more. In class, we talked about vans. If we're going on a field trip and we're taking vans, and we have a remainder, we can't just put kids on top of the van, strap them down, and drive away. We would need to round up to the next one. But if we were talking about change, or we were talking about cupcakes, let's say, and we decided that your Skittles, that's better, each student would get 8 remainder 2. We're not going to cut Skittles into pieces to share them equally. Every student's just going to get 8. So in this case, we have tables, which I would say is the same rules apply as with the van. So we're going to need to round up. 2 kids aren't going to get to sit on the floor. We're going to need 9 tables. Okay. So the same thing, I would like you to do number 4 on your own. Pause the video. Okay, ready for the answer. Our directions, we're going to write and solve an equation to find how many more times Frankie will need to babysit. That word more tells me I'm probably going to add or multiply because it's going to be getting bigger. But we'll see. Frankie earns $5 each time he babysits his little sister. He has saved $30. Frankie wants to save $52 to buy a new skateboard. Write and solve an equation to find how many more times Frankie will need to babysit. So first, we need to figure out how much money he still needs to save. So I'm going to take what he wants to save and subtract what he has already saved. So 52 minus 30. 2 minus 0 is 2, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So he needs $22 more. Okay, now you could list the multiples of 5. So you could say 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, to find out how many more times he'll need to babysit before he reaches his goal. So that would tell me he's going to end up having a couple dollars extra, but he will need to babysit 5 more times. You could also divide 22 by 5. Find that 5 goes into 22 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. 22 minus 20 is 2. 4, remainder 2. If he only babysits 4 times, he will only have $20. So that remainder 2, he's still going to owe $2 more. So he's going to have to babysit a 5th time in order to get to his goal. Okay, that's that whole worksheet. Now you have all the answers. They should be correct. Thank you for watching.